Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about the possible constitution of the government that is coming in and people who are likely to make it into the government. And you said you believed, or you believe this government should have a government of national unity, and if competent people are available from other parties, then you think that the general should avail himself of their talent and put them in government. Your name has been linked to a cabinet position. Is it your hope that you will be appointed as minister in this government?
I never supported General Buhari because I wanted an appointment. I supported President Jonathan in 2010 when the cabal was giving him a lot of problems. I marched on the streets of Abuja with others, and I never expected anything in return. As a matter of fact, I doubt if I've met President Jonathan one-on-one. I tried, of course, to interview him a couple of times, but it never came through. So for me, I'm very, very humbled. I mean, the bloggers all over Nigeria and beyond are all talking about Dele Momodu. Some say I'll be Minister of Information, some say Culture and Tourism, and I just smile because, trust me, I have not been in Nigeria since this thing happened, and I know that the way it happens is that people have to lobby most times. But God knows that if I want to stoke it, I'll be in Abuja by now. Are you interested? No. Definitely, I have a cabinet position. Trust me, I have a major project that I'm doing right now that has kept me away from Nigeria. But if I am considered on merit, I'll consider it, especially if it's relevant to what I do.
So it's not even guaranteed you will say yes?
Because I don't know. You see, one of my favorite philosophers, Whitehead, said, "Blessed are those who expect nothing, for they shall never be disappointed." I am one of those people who would not expect something when I have not seen it. If I am invited, number one, I'm not a member of APC, so the chances of anybody looking for or campaigning for non-APC members will be very remote. Number two is that I'm not one of those people who can go and hang around Abuja. Out of sight, sometimes it's out of mind. You may be qualified, but because people don't see you, they may not even remember that you exist. So, and then
well, in your own case, they remember it because it's all on social media and everywhere, but, so you can't be forgotten.
But I was on social media throughout, even before the elections, throughout the elections and
everything.
But
I'm saying you are now on social media specifically being linked to appointments in government.
I'm not the only one.
And it should be
they
okay
are mentioning David West.
Yes,
and
I suspect some of them, if I were to talk to them and say, "Are you interested?" it would be a simple yes.
No, it won't be.
Let me explain what I mean. The man that we have as president-elect today, many Nigerians are actually excited, and I've seen it in writing, that this is the first man who has publicly said time and time again, "I want the job." And because of that, they believe he is prepared for the job, unlike a lot of other people who stumbled into the job or who luck propelled to the job. And so the question again for you is, are you interested?
I was interested in being president. So naturally, if I didn't want to serve my nation, I would not have contested. But when I had a superior argument and I saw a superior candidate, I supported him. So, I mean, it would be foolhardy of anybody at this time to reject an opportunity to serve Nigeria. But what I am saying is that we should not do it the way we've always done it, where people of all characters just want to go into power by hook and by crook. I am saying I'm not desperate for power. I would love very much to show Nigerians that we can do it and we can do it right, but then it has to come through the appropriate quarters. It cannot be me. I cannot select myself. Some people would force themselves into power, but some of us cannot do that because we're professionals.
Now, in writing to the president-elect and talking to him about what he needs to do for success in his government, you wrote, and I quote, "You can't afford to keep hungry lions in positions of authority because it is certain they will abuse it." You went further to say that Chief Moshood Abiola of blessed memory had an eloquent way of putting it succinctly. You said, he said it would be wicked to put a man who's hungry in the kitchen and expect him not to take some of the meal for himself. On this occasion, you and President Jonathan seem to be speaking in tandem about corruption, because he said something very similar, using the analogy of the goat and the yam.
And the yam.
You agree with him then?
No. In my own case, I see corruption as being very endemic. It's cancerous, it is malignant, and it requires urgent surgery. If possible, chemotherapy.
To follow the surgery.
To follow the surgery, or one after the other. So, and that is why some of us who didn't want Buhari originally...
Explain this quote then.
So what I'm saying is that the simple meaning of that is that General Buhari should consider men and women of accomplishment. Those who have achieved, those who have things they do. I'm sure you've heard the term before, professional politicians
men
in Nigeria.
And women of
accomplishment.
Of wealth?
No,
because
not wealth.
That is
no, that's not wealth.
It is rich people who you should put in charge of the country
not
because
wealth.
They will not steal.
If you earn a living, okay, you are not likely to steal. But if you have a professional politician who does not do anything when he leaves the place, when I contested in 2011 and I lost woefully, as you described it, I went straight back to my job. I didn't go to Abuja 2 years thereafter. There are people, if they lose election today, they will not be able to leave Abuja because they are looking for the next thing to do.
So the criteria for appointment, you think, into positions of authority in this incoming government, first and foremost, is that you should have your own career or business.
There should be something
independent.
That would help, definitely.
If you are a principal of a secondary school, is that on the same level?
You see, I don't know if a principal of a secondary school will be invited into government. I don't know. But
no, but I'm trying to get to understand what...
Is it the essential of it?
Because what I'm trying to get at, Bashorun, is that it sounds like you're trying to push a certain class of people into government.
No.
And in the process, possibly disenfranchising a large chunk of people.
No, that's not true. I don't see anyone more accomplished than some of the professors that we have. Even Professor Tahiru Jega came from the university. He's accomplished. I doubt if he was a billionaire before coming to God to serve his country. So I'm talking about such people. We're not talking about money. What happens usually in Nigeria is that once you mention achievement, people then assume that it means riches. No, there is a difference between an achiever. Yes, some achievement can bring you money. Some may bring you fame. Some can bring you power.
Well, the reason I made the connection between what you said and money, because you then also went on to say, and I quote, "Those who wish to live lavishly can augment their government allowances from their private businesses where that is allowed," implying there's a certain amount of affluence associated with this group of people that you are promoting.
No. In fact, what I'm saying there is that when you come to government, you should downgrade your lifestyle because government cannot provide those things. If, for example, you used to fly around the world in private jets, and when you come to government, you can't do that. So, in fact, it's contrary to that interpretation. The essence of it is that in the days of old, we used to meet ministers and governors in commercial planes. But these days, it's almost impossible to meet any of your leaders one-on-one because they are not there. Everybody is living above the citizens. So I am saying for anybody to live at that level, government cannot do it. A situation where you put in the annual budget 18 billion for government to spend on flights of fancy, I believe has to be discouraged. We have to save every penny we can at this time. Nigeria cannot continue to live. In fact, the way I describe it is that you cannot continue to practice capitalism without capital.
Let us take a break. When we return, we discuss Bashorun Dele Momodu's business, which appears to promote and celebrate ostentatious living and which sometimes showcases people whose sources of wealth is at best dubious, and how he squares this with his stance as a pro-democracy and change advocate. Don't go away.